Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. And today I wanted to talk to you about narcissists not liking certain smells. So there are certain smells when you're using your oils, when you're using your bath, when you're using your herbs, that you will be able to cleanse negative energy from around you. These people will not like these smells that you take a bath in, especially from the mint family. I have certain people who have used the ostrich oil that is like a deep mint. You know, it's like a healing, it's like a tingling, okay? They do not like the smell of Vicks Vapor Rub, the camphor. They do not, those entities, if you put a little bit of Vicks Vapor Rub in your burner, those entities will not like that type of smell. They do not like anything from the mint family, the camphor, the hyssop. They will, run from those types of smells. So we have these types of herbs that we can use on a regular basis. And not only will, the narcissist say something to you, they will be trying to get away from that, or that scent. I've even had, use that scent around certain narcissists, and they've gotten sick from it. They don't like the smell. They tell me it turns their stomach. So these are some of the herbs that we can use, or some of the oils that we can use in order to cleanse these narcissists out of our life. And that's why I say you're using your incense, you're using your diffusers in order to remove and identify these people from your life. Okay, so we have different kinds of smells. And I used to use a healing kind of oil in my bath. It consists of camphor, chamomile. It consisted of the bath salts, Epsom salt. And I would use these types of mint and the herbs in my bath water, and I will be able to hear narcissists coughing, because they didn't like that smell. And you could smell that type of mint. You could smell that across the room. You can smell it, all the way into another room when you're taking a bath with those deep mints, to exfoliate, any kind of negative energy that has been sent to your body. And those narcissists would start coughing. They would be trying to leave the house. They would go and stand on the porch because they said that type of smell turns their stomach. They hated it. Okay, so we have an understanding that these narcissists do not like certain smells. Okay, so we have other smells that I can use, other smells that we can, make fragrant in the air, so that these narcissists can be identified. And, this is your challenge for all of you, because, we as empaths, as chosen ones, the narcissist doesn't like our frequency. And I'm going to do a video on that as well, because, that is an attack upon us when they do not like our frequency, when they can smell our frequency. So I'm going to make sure I do a video on that for you guys. And we have different types of smells that they do not like. The pine smell, a deep pine smell, the narcissist will run away from that type of smell. Okay, so I used to, when I was younger, I had allergies, really bad allergies, when I lived in the city with my mother. But when I went back and I stayed with my great aunt, then I didn't have allergies. So my great aunt had given me some of the asphodity tea, and I've talked to you about that. And every time I would use that asphodity tea around my mother, and even after I got grown, and I would use it around certain people in my life, they hated the smell of it. Yeah. Okay. They say that, I was drinking tea that smelled like, dung. Okay. So these are some of the ways that I know, because I have had up close and personal experience with these types of narcissists. Okay. So we have to make sure that we're using what these narcissists dislike. Asphodity is one of those types of teas that it will help you during any kind of flu, COVID. It will help you during any type of, sickness where you have, bronchitis, anything like that, anything like asthma. You want to use that as a tea in order to get rid of that, mucus, any kind of, if you have been a smoker for a very long time, you want to use the asphodity tea in order to remove any kind of black tar or mucus out of your chest. It also removes that mucus from the negative attack. Okay, when you're identifying these people, and I'm just giving you some general understandings, what I have realized and what I have experienced around these narcissists, that they do not like certain smells. If you're, using roses or anything like that, because I use the oils a lot, and I like to see the guys. It used to be guys that sold oils on the side of the road in Atlanta, and I used to buy the oils. So I use a lot of the oils for my diffuser, and just as an overall, perfume as I get out, the bathtub or shower or whatnot. So there have been certain types of smells that these narcissists, these spiritual narcissists, the people who are monitoring spirits, they do not like. They do not like certain smells. And we have to make sure that we're using those types of scents, those types of smells, for our bath, for our spiritual baths. And I cannot say the mint and the hyssop, they're in the same family, the ostrich oil. Okay? I cannot say that enough. You can go into my description, use my link to Amazon. You can order these things and then reach out to me and book a consultation so that I can help you to use these types of scents to remove negative energy from your home. And, I had, one brother asking me about how to remove negative energy from his home because he felt oppressed in his home. And that camphor, those people do not like that scent of camphor. Those narcissists, they run away from that kind of scent. They will run away from you if you take a bath in those types of scents. And we want to make sure that we're using what they dislike so that they stay away from us, so that it acts as a repellent. So it cuts those negative energies. They don't want to be around us. Every time that we know a negative person is going to be at work, we need to start smelling like some mint. We need to start smelling like, the asphodity. We need to start smelling like things that they dislike, because, they will start to cough. I've even washed my hair in these ingredients. And, when I walked past somebody, they was like, oh, that smell just, stifled me. Okay. So this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. That's why, certain smells, repel those types of entities from your house, from your environment. I take a little bit of camphor and the mint, and I go and pour it in front of my house. I pour it around my house, because these types of negative entities are identified. We don't have to worry about them sending any kind of negative energy to you, because it's going to repel that negative energy. Okay? And this is how I have been able to use that. And I wanted to give you some, information on this, because it's very necessary. How to repel those negative entities, those narcissists. And it's very important that you know how to identify them when they do not like certain spiritual smells. So I hope that this has helped you. You can reach out to me in the description below. Donate to me. Like, share, and subscribe to me. You can book your one-on-one life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions. I'm High Oracle, Reiki spiritual healer. Assalamu alaikum.